culture environment in the campus. We observe that most of the people are struggling with their projects of full stack web development. Don't worry, here we are. We'll be conducting live interactive sessions over this topic to help you all. In this event, we'll be taking you down to the essentials of front-end development, such as HTML5, CSS3, and Bootstrap for your projects. We'll be touring the Python prerequisites in the following sessions to come. And also, at the later half of this workshop, the Django workshop of your backend. Hope you all are ready to get in with us and have fun with your projects. I request you all to keep this event an interactive and make full use of this. And we also request you to behave conductively as it's an open meet. I won't bore you anymore. Now I'll ask Xavier to take over the session now. She'll be dealing with the rest of the session for you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitin. Hello, everyone. I'm from CSE, a member of DSE So as he sessions planned to help you with the DBMS mini project. Okay, let's not wait, or let's jump into the session. So can I have, yeah, it's true, like we'll have a lot of information out there on it. Got so many tutorials that we can take, many videos that we can watch, a lot more you can do within it. But it's true, like we'll never get a right guide that teaches us why we need to learn, how we need to learn, and most importantly, what is actually relevant for us in this time. So that is what DSA is trying to do, to help you with the technique to create the coding environment in our college. So join us with this journey and make the best use of it. Okay, so these are the sessions which are conducted to help you with the DBMS project. So it's like a complete full stack development. So we often come across these terms like full stack development, backend development, front-end development. So what are these terms actually? So can I get an answer for this? What is front-end and what is backend? So can you people respond through chat? Come on, guys, you can answer through the chat. So whatever the idea you have on front end and back end. Yeah, it's true, like front end is the design part and back end is with the server. So can we get any more answer? Yeah, yes, yes, the database. Yes, the backend is to connect to the database. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so now let's see what actually is front end and back end. Yeah, see, we have the users using the browser, and the server where our website runs, so where it is hosted actually. So the browser sends a request and the server gives back the response. So this is how it works. So the user interface with which we deal with is the front end, and the work which goes behind the scenes, the part of the website which is responsible for tuning the page, storing the data, and which helps in fetching the data is server. So it is completely related. So you have so many languages like HTML, CSS, which helps with the front end. With backend, we have something like Python, PHP, and many more. So if you can do both, like front end and back end, then you are a full stack developer. So these are the terms: front end, back end, and full stack. So through these sessions, we'll be covering with all this. So we'll be doing front end with HTML, CSS, and we'll be using a framework Bootstrap. For the back end, we'll be using the Python. So most of you will be knowing it actually, so it won't be difficult. We'll be using Django, and for the database, it's MySQL. So make sure that you won't miss a single session because you'll miss the flow. Yeah, let's begin with the session. Can I have the next slide? Yeah. Yes. So what is HTML? HTML is something which gives you the structure, and the content for the page. CSS is something which helps in designing, but it can't do it completely. So with JS, you can do many more reactive and creative stuffs. So this picture depicts what actually is front-end development. So HTML is for the structure, CSS is for designing, and with JS, you can make your website very reactive. Yeah. Can we go for the next one? Yeah. Yeah, this is what the HTML is, which gives you the content and the structure. CSS is something which helps you in styling. Yeah, this is, okay. Now let's start with the coding. Yes, so we'll be starting from the scratch, and you'll end up doing the project on your own, which looks like this. You have a page, you have a login page. Yeah, you have a login page. You have something like this. So this is how your project looks at end. So you'll be starting everything from scratch, and you'll be creating all these stuffs on your own. So please don't miss a session in the between. Yeah. So this is all about the session, and now let's get into code. Yeah, I'll just present it. Yeah. For this, we need a text editor. So here we'll be using the VS Code, that is Visual Studio Code. You can use any text editor of your concern, and even you can use Notepad, but text editors make your work very easy. We are using VS Code because we need a terminal for the backend, that's for the Python. So we are going with the VS Code. So already the links are sent to your mail regarding its download. So let's start. So let's start with the coding. So I'll create our very first file, a new file, and I'll just save it. So I'll just name it as index.html. So make sure that you save your HTML files with .html extension. Yeah, you have this. So now let's start with the coding part. Yeah, doc type. So this is how text editors help you. They give you the syntax. So we have something like HTML, within which we have a head tag, within which we have something like title. So we have something like a body. Yeah. So even if you are new to this, after seeing that, you'll get an idea. So these are the tags you can see. So this is the HTML tag. It has a open and close tags. It has a head portion and a body portion. I'll just save this file. Yeah, and I'll just, here is the index file, and I'll grab it to my Chrome. Yeah, you can see here, this is my index page. You can see nothing because I have not done anything. So within the title, I'll type something like my website. And within body, I'll type something like web development. Yeah, yes, I'll just save it. Yeah, it's a bit mistake. Yeah, I'll just save it and I'll refresh. Yes, you can see it here. So whatever is in the head tag is something what you can see at the top of the page. So whatever is within the body, you can see it in the body section. Yeah, I missed M here. So I'll just save it again and I'll refresh. Yes, it's fine now. Yeah, so it's very simple. Everything in HTML will be enclosed inside a HTML tag. within which we have something like the head tag and the body tag. Head is something you can relate to heading. So everything within the head tag is whatever you see at the top of the page. Within the body is something you see throughout the page. Yeah. So now let's see about few more tags. Say you need to have headings. For that we have something like H1. These are the header tags. So it will start from H1 and it goes all the way till H6. We have something like H1, H2, H3, and it goes all the way till H6. Yeah. I'll type something like H1 here. Yeah, sorry. H2, H3, and H6. I'll just save it and I'll run it. Yeah, you can see here how H1 is dominating, and you can see the size of H6. You can see a lot of variations. So if you want headings, you can use these tags according to your requirements. If you want something of this kind, you can go for H1. If you want something like H6, which is of the size H6, you can go for this. So this is how the header tags helps us. Okay, now let's go for P tags. What are P tags? These are the paragraph tags. So these are used for creating the paragraphs. So here I'll type something like, this is my first website. Yeah, I've typed it. So I'll copy the same text and I'll paste it here. Just paste it, and I'll just save it and I'll run it. Yeah, you can see the both look same. So then what's the use of having P tags? So now let's copy the same. I'll just copy it and I'll just paste around. And I'll copy this too and I'll paste it. And just refresh. Yes, now you can see. So whatever is within the P tag, it is structured well, it is aligned well. So whatever is out of it, it is printed randomly. So this is how we can use the P tag. So yeah, it's true, like we don't have paragraphs of this length, but so whenever it comes to paragraph and you need to align it properly, you'll be using the P tags. Yeah. Okay, this was about the header tags and the paragraph tags. Now let's go for few more tags. We have something like UL, which means unordered list. So yeah, within which we have the list items. So let's say I'll have something like Frontend. Add it, and I'll just paste it around. So yeah, something like backend, and just save it and I'll just refresh. Yes, you can see. So these are the list items. These are bullet pointed. So if it is unordered list, then what actually is ordered list? So I'll just copy it and I'll just paste it. And instead of something like OL, which means ordered list. Yeah, I'll just save it and I'll refresh. Yeah, you can see it. So the one with the numbers are the ordered list. The one with the bullet pointers are the unordered list. So now we got to know about header tags, paragraph tags, ordered list, and unordered list. Yeah, this is what. So now let's go with let's say if you want to add something within this front end, say you need to add HTML and CSS within front end. So I'll just copy these stuff and I'll paste it within the front end. Instead of front end, I'll have something like HTML. Instead of back end, have something like CSS and just save it, and I'll just refresh. Yes, you can see. So this is all the concept of, yeah, I'll just remove this off. It's a bit confusing. Yeah, and I'll just show you. So yeah, why is this? I just don't want this. Yeah, I'll just save it and I'll refresh. Yeah, you can see. So within Frontend, you got something like HTML and CSS. So this is entirely the concept of nesting. So if you want to add something inside the Frontend, you will add it using this pattern. Within list, you will add an ordered list, and you can have something of this kind. Yeah. Now let's go for paragraph. Okay, we will say you want a break between HTML and CSS. For that sake, we can use something like BR tag. I'll just save it and I'll refresh. Yes, see, we have a gap in between both. So what happens if I have something like HR? I'll just save it and I'll refresh. You can see a horizontal line coming in between. So this is the use of BR and HR tags. Say I want the image of Frontend after it. So what I can do is I can use the image tag. So here it is asked. So this is the image tag. So SRC is something which gives you the source of the image. So where the image is placed. So I have something saved on my desktop and I'll add it here. It's giving me the text. I'll just save it and I'll see. So you can see the image which is added in between. So this is how you can add the image to your files. So the one thing you noticed is, so you have open and close tags with all the stuffs, but when it comes to image tag, it's self-closing. When it comes to horizontal break, those are the self-closing ones. Okay, so yeah, so this was so we got to know about most used tags of HTML: header tags, paragraph tags, ordered list, unordered list, image tag, and yeah, and the basic structure. So now let's go for the anchor tag. Anchor tag actually. So this is A, which means the anchor tag. So which is used to create the hyperlinks. So with this, you can create the links. So say so what I type here is something what you can see on my website. Say I'll type something like Google. Yeah, and just save it and I'll just refresh. You can see Google over here, but if I click on it, it takes me nowhere because I have not linked it to or linked it anywhere. So say I want to go for Google. I'll just copy the link and I'll paste it here. I'll just save it and just refresh. See, so now if I click on the Google, it takes me to the Google page. So this is the actual power of. So this is the actual power of HTML. Through it, we can link. The way we can link it to the other pages, the way it's used for linking is the unique feature of HTML. So instead of linking it to the Google, let's say I'll create my own file. Okay, so I'll create a new file and I'll save it as about.html. Just enter it. So see, I'll just give the exclamation. Hello.
You need to slow down a bit. Hello.
Hi. Yeah.
I'll. People are telling in the chat that you need to slow down a bit. Can you go over the index.html structure and explain line by line what does it mean?
Okay. I'll go with it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me delete this. Just go back. Yeah, and just save this and I'll. Yeah. So you can see it. It's very simple. Everything in HTML is enclosed within the HTML tag. See, we have, okay, I'll make it. Okay, so everything inside the HTML is enclosed within a HTML tag. You can see the opening HTML tag and the closing HTML tag, within which we have two portions, like the head portion and the body portion. Head portion is something with which you can relate to the heading. So whatever you see at the top of the page. So here you can see my website, which is at the top of the page. So this is which is inside the title tag. So whatever is within the body is what you want to see in your website. See, whatever is inside the body is what you actually see throughout your website. Yeah. So then we got to learn about head tags. So head tags, which means the header tags. These are the tags which are used to create the headings. See, so it starts with H1. It goes all the way till H6. So you can see it here. H1, so you can see the size of the H1. It's lot big compared to H6. So you can select the header of your requirement. So what you want actually. So that's what head tags are used for. They are used for the headings. So P tags are the ones which are used for creating the paragraphs. So if you want a paragraph, so yeah, no paragraph will be this long. So if you want your paragraph to be aligned properly, you'll be using something like P tag. So that's what P tags helps with. Now, then we got to learn something about unordered list. Unordered list, within which we have the list items. So UL is unordered list, within which we have the list items. Let's say it is, yeah, as I've considered it earlier, it's front end. Yeah, type something like backend, just save it and I'll refresh. Yeah, you can see. So this is what unordered list is. So the one with the bullet pointers is the unordered list. So if you want ordered list, so I'll just copy it. And I'll just paste it. Yeah, you can see here, instead of OL, UL, I'll type OL. So this is the ordered list. And I'll refresh. Yeah, you can see. So this is the actual difference between ordered and unordered list, ordered and unordered list. So one with the numbers or the ordered list, and the one with the bullet pointers are the unordered list. So let's so want to have something within this front end. For that, you can just use the concept of nesting. So we'll just copy it and I'll just paste it around. I'll just save it. And you can see, so within front end, you got something like front end and back end. It is something very similar to nesting. So what we use in our subjects. So this was all about, yeah, header tag, paragraph, ordered list, and unordered list. So say you want to have a break between both. So for that, there is called BR, which means break tag. So I can use it. So I'll just save it and I'll just refresh. Yeah, you can have a break in between. So so say that you want to have a line in between. For that, I can use, which means horizontal line. So I'll get a horizontal line in between. So this is how we can break two parts in our HTML. Say you want to add content. For that case, we have something like IMG, which is used for adding images. It's IMG, so it's image tag. So inside the source, you will type the image. So what the image actually is. So I have something like front end laundry pages. So I just save it. And I'll refresh. See, you can see the image on your website. So this is how you can use your image tag. So these are the basic tags. So the structure, which includes head, HTML, head and body tags. So within body, we got to know about header, paragraph, ordered and unordered list. And you got to know that how can you add images to your website. Yeah, now let's see what actually is anchor tag and how is it used. And so I'll just remove this stuff and I'll explain it again. Yeah, so this is the anchor tag. So here within this part, I'll type something what I need to see on my website. So say I want to see something like about, just save it. Yeah, so so you can see something like about, so which is used to create the hyperlinks. It takes me to nowhere because I've not linked it to anything yet. So I'll link it to something like, yeah. So say I want to go for Google, so then I can I can grab the address from here and I can just add it over there. Just grab it and I'll just add it over here. I'll just save it and I'll refresh. So if I click on the about, it takes me to the Google page. So this is how we can use the anchor tag for linking. So this is the actual power of HTML. So you can add text, you can add images, you can add lists, but the actual power lies in linking. So say instead of going to Google, I'll create my own file and I'll just name it as about.html. So let's remove the stuffs. Just remove it. Okay. So with text editor, I can just use this exclamation mark and I'll just click on it. So we'll get the basic syntax, which looks like this. So within body, I'll type something like this is my new page. And I'll just save it. So yeah, within index.html, instead of linking to google.com, I'll link it to about.html. I'll just save it and I'll just refresh. So now let's see, when I click on about, it takes me to this file where I have typed this is my new file. So for going back, I'm using this back arrow. Even I can do it using the anchor tag. So I'll use a tag, it's the anchor tag. So within this href, I'll be typing the link of the page that I need to move on. So I want to go for index.html. Use it. And here I'll type something what I need to see on my website. I'll type something like go back. And I'll just save it and I'll just refresh. Yeah, here you can see the go back content. So it takes me to index.html. So when I click on this, I'll go for my. So this is how you can link the various files using anchor tags. So yeah, this was a very quick intro to HTML. So when you visit the website, we often see the login forms, register forms. So now let's create a form on our own. So for that, I'll create a new file, and I'll create a new file, and I'll just save it as register.html. I'll just save it. So I'll just use the basic syntax. For that, you can just use the exclamation mark. When you click on this, the text editor gives you the entire syntax. So these are some stuff which are not required. So I'll just delete it off. Yeah, you can see the very basic syntax of the HTML page. Okay, now let's create the HTML form. I'll just save it. Yeah, everything in form is included inside the form tag. Yeah, icon is something which we don't require now. Yeah, form tag. Yeah. within which we have the input tags where we can have the input. So name, ID. So the input type is text. I'll just save this file and I'll show what happens. So here is the register file. I'll take it to my Chrome. Yeah, you can see the empty box where I can type any text of my requirement. So let's label it. I'll label it as first name. Yeah, and I'll just save it and I'll refresh. Yeah, now you can see. So this is how you can create the fields. So I'll just copy it. I want something same. Yeah, I'll just paste it and just paste it. Yeah, so here I include something like last name. I'll just save it and I'll just refresh. Yeah, you can see the fields next to one another. So if you remember, for breaking, we use BR tag. So I'll be using it. So BR. So let's use one more BR tag. Yeah, I'll just save it and I'll just refresh. Yeah, so you got the first name and last name. What are the other fields in the form? So we'll be having something like email, so input. So for the email, we have a very specific input type and it's email. And just save it. So we have something like birthday. And just save it. For which the input, for which the input type will be date. And just close it around. Yeah, I've closed it. So I'll just save it and you can see, and yeah, I'll just refresh it. So you can see the fields next to one another. So for which we need to break it. So for that, I'll be using the break tags. I'll just copy it and I'll paste it around. Just save it. Yeah. Yes, this is how we can create the forms using HTML. So now let's create the submit button using the button tag. So inside which the type of the button will be the type of the button will be submit. So here I'll type something what I want to see on the screen, that is submit. And yeah, I'll add one more button. I'll just add the type of it. It will be reset. And I'll just close it off. So here I type what I want to see on my screen. This is reset and I'll save it. Yeah, you have two buttons. One is submit and one is reset button. So if I type something which is not relevant, I can use this reset button. Submit button is used for submitting the form. We come across a few fields which are mandatory. How we can do it? So say that email is compulsory. So you can add something like required. Yeah, you can see it here. And just save it and I'll refresh. So if I try submitting the form, it says that please fill out this field because I have done done email as the mandatory thing. So this is how you can create the forms of your own. Say I type something which is not relevant and I'll try submitting. So it gives me the message. It has a specific standard you should follow because we have specified the type here and it's email. So this is how we can create the forms using HTML. So now let's link it for index.html, for which I'll be using the A tag. So I'll just copy it off and I'll just paste it and I'll just name it as register.html. And here I'll type something like register. I'll just save it and I'll just refresh. Go to my website page and I refresh it. Here you can see something like register. If I click on it, it takes me for this register form. Yeah, this was the very brief intro to HTML. HTML follows the very specific syntax which has HTML tag. Everything will be enclosed inside the head tag, within which we have is enclosed inside the HTML tag, within which we have the head tag and the body tag. So head tag is something which refers to the heading, which is at the top of the page, and whatever is within the body is what you can see throughout your website. So this is how the HTML works. So if you want to explore more on the HTML, there is this awesome website called W3 Schools. You can go for it. So it has something like HTML. So what you can explore it on your own. See, it has the very basic syntax. So it starts with doctype HTML. Doctype HTML is used to specify that we are using HTML5. We have so many versions of HTML. So doctype HTML is something which specifies that we are using the HTML5. We have HTML tag, within which we have the head and the body tags. We have something like h1, which says that this is a heading, and p tag, which says that this is a paragraph. Here you can try it on your own, and you can play around. You can type something like hi, and you can run it. Okay. Yes, this is how you can use the W3 Schools. It has every single thing what we have learned here. So if I go for the menu, you can see headings. Yeah, we have something like H1, H2, H3, which goes all the way till H6. Here we have having something that we can see. See, whatever is enclosed within the H1 tag is the heading 1. H2 it goes till H6. So you can see the variations in the tag. So this is how you can use the W3 Schools, and you can explore a lot on it. Here you can see something like HTML forms. So with just now we created the form on our own. So this is how we can see how the syntax is, and you can try it on your own. So if you want to explore more on HTML, so this is the place that you can use. So this is our very first website, which is very simple. So which is linked to about and registered pages using the anchor tag. Okay, so this is all about HTML, and this is a very brief intro to HTML. So if there are any confusions, you can put up in the chat box. So this was all about HTML, and yeah, it looks very pale on this note. So now let's style it using CSS. So for that, I'll create a new file and I'll save it as style.css. Just, yeah, yes, I want to replace it. Yeah, so yeah, HTML is with something which gives the structure and content for your web page. CSS is something which is used for styling. So the basic syntax goes like this. So it has a selector. So we have the flag braces, within which we have the property and the value. So this is the basic syntax of CSS. If you know this, you can write CSS on your own. So here we'll be having something like selector. Inside the flag braces, you have a property and what's the value of the property. So now try it with our page. Okay, say we have, let's use now the selector is H1. So H1 as the selector. So it should apply my properties to the H1, what we can see here on the website. So let's see H1. I'll use the flower basis. I'll use the property color. Yeah, use the property color and I'll select the blue violet. Yeah, something like property and value. Yes, so now I have applied H1 property, H1 with the property color. I have assigned it to blue. Now let's save it and see what happens. So obviously nothing, because how can this HTML file gets to know there is a file called CSS? So for that we need to link it. So that's something what I'll do inside the head tag. I'll use the link tag for that purpose. Link, so it gives me the syntax. So it is referring to a style sheet. So whatever I link here, that is style.css, is a style sheet. That's what it is saying. I'll use something like, yeah, style.css. I'll just save it and I'll refresh. Yeah, now you can see the property of H1 is changed, and now it's applied. So this is how the CSS works. So H1 is the selector, so which is here. So within which I have the H1. So I have added the property color, which is assigned to blue. So now you can see the color of the page, the color of H1 is changed to blue. Yeah, say like we want the border. Yeah, which is of 5 pixel thickness, which is dashed and which is red in color. Sorry. I'll just save it and I'll just refresh. So this is how you can style your sheets. You can see the border over here. So say that I want to align this text in between. For that I have something like text align. I'll add it in the center. I just save this file and I'll refresh. Yeah, you can see H1 is at the middle. So this is how you can use CSS. So on the left hand side, you will be having all the properties, and to the right hand side, we'll be having the values to the property. Okay, let's apply something for H2. I want to apply the color. And I'll go with something like purple. And I'll just save it. And I'll copy the same. Yeah, I'll change the color here. Yeah, I can select any color of your requirement. I'll say something like blue. Yeah. So you can see the specific codes here. These are RGB codes, which mean the red, green, blue codes. So you can see the specific values here. So any you can use the name of the color. You can use the RGB values. You can use hex code. Anything is fine. So here I've assigned the two values for the color for the things within H2. So one is purple and one is blue. So let's refresh and let's see. Okay, I'll just save it and I'll just refresh. So it's not changing. Why? I'll just save this. I'll just refresh. So why the color is not changing? Yeah. Now we can see now you can see the color of the H2 is assigned to blue, which is at the bottom. So this is what cascading means. So the style sheet will always take the selectors which are at the end. So it always take the selectors which are at the end. So here the selector H2, which is at the end, is assigned to blue. So you can see blue over here. So okay, and just delete it off. And just delete. Okay, I'll add something like hour, and I'll just save it. So what it does actually? Okay, I'll add some more properties. Like I'll add the border, which is 5 pixel, which is solid, and which is red in color. And I'll just save it. Sorry, I'll just save it, and I'll just refresh. So you can see whenever I hover on the H2 part, so you can see the change in the property. So this is how you can use the selectors. There are various methods of using the selector. So if I want the same properties of H1 to be applied to H3, I can use something like I can add a comma and I can add H3, and I'll just save it and I'll refresh. Yeah, you can see the properties of H1 are assigned to H3. So if I hover on this, there will be the change in the properties. So this is the various ways that you can make use of selectors. You can use something like hover. You can, if you want to apply the property for multiple fields, you can separate it using the comma. And there are, so yeah, let's print. Okay, let's delete it off and I'll print a very random. So I'll use the div tag now. So it's tag, and I'll print some random text. Yeah, it goes very long. So I'll just cut it off and I'll just save it. So I'll name this div. I'll name it with the class A, and I'll just save it. So it is very much essential in CSS. So the name of the class here is A. So if I want to style that div portion, I'll just show you here. I'll just refresh and see, you can see all bunch of text over here. So this is the text within the div class, which is named A. So to select it, I'll put a dot and I'll take the name of the class. So this is the standard syntax. So you need to use a dot, after which you will name the class, that is A, and I'll select the property like color, and I'll add something like purple. Yeah, I'll close it and I'll refresh. See, now the color of the text is changed to purple. So this is the various ways with which you can use the selectors. You can take the name of the tag, that is H1, H2, anything of this sort. You can take the name of the class. When you are using the class, make sure that you use a dot and the name of the class within which you specify the property and the value. So something like hover allows you to see these properties when you hover on this specific text. See, that is which is applied to H2. So H2 is at the very end. So let's align it in the middle. For that, we use something like text align, and I'll select center. And I'll save it, and I'll just refresh. Okay, just save it. Yeah, when I click on this, you can see it comes at the middle. So these are the various ways of using the selectors. So now let's see how can we add a background image for our web page. Yeah, and for that case, I'll use the body tag. Yeah, I have a property by name background image. Yeah, I'll select it off. So so background image. So within this URL, I need to type the source of my image. I have something saved on my desktop, and that is background. Yeah, sorry. I can use something like, what is the name of it? I'll just see it. So it is something which is here, which is background, and it's of the type, it's of the type JFIF. So I'll take it for my sheet. Yeah. So where is my Chrome? Yeah, this is fair. So I'll just save it, and so I've missed something. So let's use this image like background, and just save it. Just save it here, and I'll just refresh. Yeah, you can see the background image on my screen. So you can see the background image is repeating. So we can adjust it using we can adjust it using the specific constraints. So we can give the background. Yeah, we can use something like background size. If I add something like cover, and I'll just save it, and I'll refresh. Yeah, you can see. So the entire page has the single image. So it covers my entire page. So this is how you can add the background for your image. Now, so here we have the other image. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. So this is how you can add the image. So if the image keeps on repeating, you can use something like background repeat, no repeat. So it makes sure that your image won't keep repeating. So this is how you can use the background. You can use the background image. Yeah, there is one important topic left in the CSS, that is the box model. So what is box model? So let's have a look on the picture. So this is the box model. So if I show this, you won't get anything. So let's do it on our own and see. So what actually is the box model? So yeah, I'll get my Chrome here and have something. So we have this about page. We have we have only this. This is my new page details here. So we can use this page for that purpose. So I'll create a very new file to style about.html. So I'll just save it as style2.css. I'll just save it. Yeah, I got my new page. So I'll link it to my about page. For linking, we have something called link tag. Yeah, with we have the style sheet format here. So I'll be referring it to style.css, style2.css. And I'll just save it. Yeah. So within which, let's create few div tabs. Yeah. I'll name the class as box model. I'll just save it, and I'll type here something like A, which I need to see on my website. So I'll just save it. And yeah, let's copy the same. Yeah, I'll save it, and yeah. So here is about our bot page. Yeah, so you can see 3 A's over here. So now let's style them. So here we are using something like div with the name of the class is box model. So if you are using the class as a selector, you should follow the constraint dot and the name of the class. It's box model. Yeah. So say that I want a border, which is 5 pixel in thickness, which is solid, and which is red in color. I'll just save it and I'll just refresh. See, we are having a border. So I want all these stuffs in single line. For that, I can use something like display, and I'll mark the value to inline. If I use this, I'll just save it and I'll refresh. You can see these stuffs coming next to one another. So now let's add a break in between. Yeah, let's add VR tag in between. And just save it and I'll just refresh. Yeah, so now you can see it on the next page. So now let's see what is padding. So I'll add the padding. So and I'll give it the value 20 pixel. I'll just save it and I'll refresh. See, so we don't want those things which are in our HTML file. Okay, so this is how the padding works. See, it is overlapping. So we don't want 20 pixels at the top. So I can alter it with 5 pixels at the top, 20 pixels at the right, 5 pixels at the bottom, and 20 pixels at the left. I'll just save it and I'll just refresh. So now you can see it's aligned. So now let's add something like margin. Yeah, I need to add the same set of values, like 5 pixels at the top, 20 at the right, 5 pixels at the bottom, and 20 pixels at the left. So I'll just save it and I'll just refresh. You can see the gap between those. So this is how padding margin works. So let me just explain it by inspecting. Yeah, and just zoom it off. Here you can see the padding. So whatever is, yeah, it's referring to the other one. Yeah, I think this one. So this is the content. So yeah, so for which one it's referring? Let's see. So okay, let's go for app pic. So this is the box model. Yeah, so whatever is your content, so the distance between the content and the border is called as padding, and the distance between your border and the other fields is the margin. So that is how we have created it here. So I'll just open my file. Yeah, I'll just open and stop. So this is our content. The distance between my content and the border is padding, and the distance between the border and the other field, it's the margin. So it's not useful in this case. So for the entire page, you need to add padding. So you need to know what should be the distance from the margin. So where should be your content, where should be your border. So that's where the box model comes into picture. So these are the very few tags which are used in CSS. Yeah, so this is about the box model. I'll just take it fully. So we have this CSS file. So the basic syntax of the CSS goes like this. So we'll be having the selector within which we has the property and the value for the property. So that is what we have done here. So that is what we have done here. Like inside the body, we are applying the property background image, and the value of this image is the source of the image. So for H1 and H3, we'll be applying the property color, and the blue violet will be the value of the color. So this is how you can style your sheets using CSS. Yeah, this document. Yeah, I'll click go back. So this is how you can use CSS for styling your sheets. So this is the very basic tags for the CSS. Yeah, it's true, like you can't keep everything in your mind. For that, we have a very good website called CSS Tricks. Yeah, CSS Tricks. Yeah, this is the CSS Tricks. Yeah, within which you have something like almanac. So you can see, so you got to know about bunch of selectors here, how you can use the name of the tag, how you can use the hover content, how you can use the name of the class. So if you want to explore more, you can go to selectors and you can read about them. And here is the whole bunch of properties, like see align content, align self, so the background, position, background, color. So if you click on this, it gives you the entire syntax. So it gives, so it is the HTML tag for which the background color is assigned with something. So it is a hex code value for the color. So if you want to know about the hex code values for the color, see there are websites for this too. So there is something like paleton.com, within which you can get the hex code for the images. So this is how you can explore on your own. So this is how you can know about more syntax. It's too like we can't have everything. So the best we can do is we can keep searching. So whenever you find a new property, you can just come here and you can search it around here and you can read about it. So this was all about CSS. So I'll just open up a few. Yeah. So this was all about CSS and HTML. Yeah. So this is how you can create your basic web pages using HTML and CSS. So yeah, using CSS, you got to know that how we can add various properties for your files. So using Bootstrap, you can do wonders. So that is what you'll see in the future. It makes your work a lot more easy. So Bootstrap is something with which you can find the built-in forms. So you can use it and you can create awesome website without any struggle. So that will be the next part of the session. So next part of the session will be the intro to Bootstrap. Yeah, make sure that you attend it. So if there was anything which was not convincing with HTML and CSS, please put up in the chat box and I'll respond. Hello. So if there are any doubts, you can put up in the chat box.
Thank you so much, Shravya. I hope that's it for today. Tomorrow, Sanjay will be walking you over the Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a front-end framework that is maintained by the Twitter. He also creates a sample web page, that is, he builds a demo web app to demonstrate the complete front end for your project. If you have any queries or doubts, feel free to contact us in the Discord. The link is being dropped in the chat section. I hope Adi or Sanjay will do that now. And even try and make the sessions more interactive by approaching us with your doubts and queries. So I think we're gonna end it for today. And the good news is we are done with the basics. So we shall get into action right from tomorrow, the same time. Thank you so much for everyone joining with us. Thank you.